So in your book, you do talk a lot about how simple, ordinary ideas can actually fuel extraordinary ideas. Just tell us a little bit more about this mindset and how can people make that become part of their daily thinking? Is there exercises or anything you can do to recommend to them to keep it going?
Yeah, for sure. So in the book, I cover all kinds of like fascinating stories. Here's what, by the way, there's no story about Netflix or Amazon or Apple. Of course, those are innovative companies, but we already know that. We already know that. So we cover these surprising, unexpected stories of amazing people, like normal people that have done crazy cool stuff with everyday innovation. And so really, instead of you look at Elon Musk, you're like, well, that's cool for him, but that doesn't apply to me. This is the opposite. It's like, yeah, this is within my grasp. And so you actually asked two questions. One is an example of a big little breakthrough. Dozens and dozens and dozens of them in the book, but one that just comes to mind. In London, it turns out that cigarette litter is a really big problem, just like it is in New York City. And people have tried doing all these things, shaming smokers into compliance. Nothing really works. And it's terrible for the environment. It costs a bunch of money to try to clean up. And it's bad for small children or animals that could ingest them. Just bad. So in London, I interviewed a guy named Trewin Restorick. And Trewin is not a celebrity. He's not a billionaire. He's like a normal dude. He has wrinkly khaki pants and 10-year-old loafers. But he had an idea, a big little breakthrough. He created something called the ballot bin. So imagine you and I walked out of a pub in London and we were about to throw our cigarette butts on the ground. But instead you see this bright yellow thing like glowing off in the distance and you're drawn to it. And what a ballot bin is, it's a metal container mounted at eye level with a glass front. There's a two-part question at the top, like which is your favorite food, pizza or hamburgers? And so there's a little divider behind it. And so you basically vote with your butts. If you like pizza, you put your cigarette butt where it says pizza. And the butts fall on top of the other butts. It's almost like a live bar chart to see which one of these two is winning. And so this is a simple, low-tech, didn't take a PhD, didn't require like $1 billion of capital, but he reduced cigarette litter by 80%.
That's amazing.
He went on to start a company. He's now in 27 countries around the world. He's making like a real environmental impact, not because he had some wizard-like creativity, it's because he's a normal dude that decided to be creative. And that, to me, the book is full of stories like that. Real quickly, though, you answered what can people do? I do cover the habits, a lot of them. We look at the habits of Lady Gaga and Lin-Manuel Miranda and Steven Spielberg and the guys who write South Park. And we really break it down into a scientific, like what can you do every day to cultivate this skill? The good news is that creativity is like your weight, not your height. So like I'm pretty short. I'm not going to grow a foot no matter how hard I try. But my weight I can control based on diet, nutrition, exercise, etc. Creativity is exactly the same. You can control, you can expand your creativity. So the book covers very specific tactical things that people can do like 5 minutes a day to actually build the skills, build the creativity muscles.